Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we decode those confusing corporate filings to tell you exactly what is going on behind the scenes. Today we're diving into Bakkt Holdings Incorporated's latest filing, and let's just say it is not exactly a ringing endorsement of smooth sailing. Stick around as we unravel what this amended report really means. Before we get started, if you find value in these deep dives into financial documents, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And for more real-time discussions and to connect with us and other viewers, join our Discord community linked in the description below. Alright, so what we have here is an amendment to a previous report, specifically an 8K filing. Think of an 8K as a company's way of telling the market about major events that happen outside of their regular quarterly reports. This amendment, this 8KR, is essentially a do-over, a correction to something they accidentally messed up in the first place. It is like sending a letter and then realizing you forgot to sign it. So you send out a new one with your signature. The really important part here is that this amendment is only to fix a mistake in one specific section. Item 5.02, everything else from the original report, the one filed back on the 3rd of November of 2025, supposedly stays the same. So we're really just here to look at this one correction, which is pretty interesting. This section, item 5.02, deals with changes in a company's top leadership board members and key executives. When a report mentions this, it is usually because someone vital has left, a new person has joined, or there has been a change in their pay or responsibilities. It looks like Bakkt Holdings Incorporated made some kind of error in how they listed their executive officers in the original filing. So they're not just adding or changing one name, they're completely replacing the entire table of executive officers. This suggests the original list might have had an incorrect name, an incorrect title, or perhaps an incorrect age for one or more of their top people. It is a bit of a housekeeping fix, but it points to a lack of attention to detail that can sometimes be a red flag for investors. Let's look at the updated list of who is actually in charge. We have Accession Number, who is 43 years old and serves as the Chief Executive Officer. Then there is Karen Alexander, 54, as the Chief Financial Officer. Nicholas Bardes, 46, is the Chief Operating Officer. And finally, Mark D'Annunzio, 53, takes the role of General Counsel and Secretary. This is the company we're talking about, Bakkt Holdings Incorporated. It's important to remember that this is an amended filing, meaning there was an error they needed to correct. While it's good they are correcting errors, the fact that such a fundamental piece of information as the executive leadership team was initially submitted incorrectly is definitely something to note. Now, while this filing doesn't contain the deep financial tables we often love to dissect on this channel, it is crucial to understand what these leadership changes or corrections might imply. A filing like this, focused on correcting executive officer information, usually doesn't come out of nowhere. It often points to underlying internal adjustments, or perhaps a response to previous issues that necessitated a clearer reporting of who is at the helm. Think about it this way, if a company is having trouble keeping its leadership roster straight in its official filings, what other areas might be experiencing similar disorganization? It could be anything from internal communications to financial reporting accuracy. On the flip side, sometimes these are just simple administrative blunders, and the company is being transparent by correcting it promptly. Given this is an amendment, they are acknowledging the error and fixing it. In the broader context of Bakkt Holdings Incorporated, they operate in the digital asset and loyalty ecosystem space. This is a relatively new and evolving industry, which means companies in this sector often face higher levels of volatility and regulatory scrutiny. Companies need to be completely buttoned up in their operations and reporting to navigate these choppy waters successfully. Having an accurate picture of leadership is fundamental to understanding who is steering the ship through these potentially turbulent markets. When we look at the securities this company has registered, we see Class A common stock and warrants to purchase that stock. This is pretty standard for publicly traded companies. The fact that they have these registered means they are available for trading on exchanges. The trading symbol for their common stock is BKT, and for their warrants it is BKTWS. These are the codes investors use to find and trade the company's shares. This part just confirms that their stock and warrants are listed on a major exchange, in this case the New York Stock Exchange. This provides liquidity for investors, making it easier to buy and sell their holdings. The report itself is dated the 31st of October 2025. This is the earliest date of any event that this report is meant to cover, even though the amendment was filed later. So, what is the big takeaway from this particular filing? It is less about dramatic financial shifts and more about operational tidiness. This 8 Kiter filing highlights a correction in the reporting of Bakkt Holdings Incorporated's executive officers. While the correction itself is straightforward, replacing an entire table of who is who, the fact that such a correction was needed in the first place does raise questions about the company's internal processes and attention to detail. Especially in a complex and rapidly changing industry like digital assets, from a Warren Buffett-style analysis, we're not seeing specific numbers here to pick apart in terms of profits or losses. Instead, we're focusing on the quality of management and the transparency of reporting. The strength of Bakkt Holdings Incorporated lies in its potential participation in the growing digital asset space. However, its weaknesses are currently highlighted by the need for these types of corrections, suggesting a potential lack of robust internal controls or oversight regarding their public disclosures. The notable risks are pretty clear. If these basic reporting functions are prone to error, it could signal deeper operational issues or signal potential inaccuracies in more complex financial reporting. The opportunity, however, is if this correction represents a single isolated administrative hiccup and the company can demonstrate a renewed commitment to accuracy going forward. In conclusion, this amended filing doesn't rewrite Bakkt Holdings Incorporated's financial story, but it does add a footnote about its operational narrative. Companies need to get the basics right, and this filing shows a recent example of them needing to correct that. We'll be watching to see if this is a one-off event or part of a concerning trend. Alright, that is our breakdown of Bakkt Holdings Incorporated's latest filing. What is your take on these numbers and what they signal for the company's future? Do you think this correction is a big deal or just a minor bureaucratic hiccup? Drop your thoughts in the comments below if this analysis was valuable. Hitting that like button really helps us out. And subscribing ensures you won't miss future deep dives. Don't forget to check out the Discord link in the description for more community discussion. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on Corporate Decoder.